Welcome back, Yorgies. We are going to start in puppy pose today. So come into a tabletop. I want you to keep your hips right over your knees and then start to walk your hands forward until you can't walk forward anymore. All right, we're trying to bring our armpits and our heart down towards the mat. And if you can melt all the way down like Val and have your chest on the mat, you're going to put your chin down on the floor. And if there's a little bit of space between your heart and the ground, you're going to put your forehead on the floor. Try to lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Let's take a nice big inhale here. And as you exhale, start to walk yourself out of it. You'll come to sit at the back of your mat in Sukhasana. So you're going to come to that cross-leg position. Find your sitting bones, sit up nice and tall, and inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Maybe look up at your hands. Exhale, hands to the heart. And we'll continue that for a couple more rounds of breath. So inhale to reach up and exhale, hands down. One more time. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, hands down. And then we're going to reach up again and exhale, twist to the right. So bring the right hand behind you. The left hand can grab onto that right knee and maybe just help you twist a little deeper. And you'll be here for a couple of breaths. So on your exhales, think about twisting a little further, maybe looking over the back shoulder. And on your inhales, think about reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And you're going to leave the left hand where it is. Start to reach that right arm up and over to the left. So again, pushing onto that right knee to help you deepen a little bit. Keep your right booty on the ground. And on your next exhale, crisscross your arms, grab onto your knees, and round your spine, chin to the chest. Take one more breath here. And when you're ready to inhale again, cactus your arms, open your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then let's reach up and do that same thing on the left side. So twist towards the left. Left hand is coming behind your low back. And that's what's helping you sit up really tall. On your exhales, look over your shoulder. And then leave the right hand where it is. Reach the left arm up and over to the right. And keep trying to root the left hip down towards the mat. And we'll find that rounded spine, crisscross the arms, really round through the back. And let's take a nice big inhale, cactus the chest again, open up the arms. And we're going to come into boat pose. So start to gather the knees in towards the chest. You can leave your fingertips down by your hips if you'd like to. You're going to lean back and then try to squeeze the thighs up towards the belly for 3. Lift your heart for 2. And 1, we're going to rock and roll on the spine and come into a tabletop position. So get a little momentum and then roll over the knees, come into all fours. We'll do cat-cow for a couple rounds of breath here. Drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine, chin to the chest. A couple times on your own. Move with your own breath and try to match the length of your inhale and exhale to your movement. So if you need to slow your movement down, go ahead and do that. Now the next time that you find an inhale, let's find a flat back, curl the toes under, lift the hips, and follow that into your down dog. We'll pedal the legs out for a couple rounds of breath here. Try to hug the belly in towards the spine and push the heart back towards the legs. Kind of like our puppy pose. You're melting the armpits back. Let's take one more big breath here. Exhale everything out. We're going to make our way to a forward fold at the head of the mat. So you can walk or you can take big steps to get there. But land with your feet about hip width apart and grab onto opposite elbows. We're going to sway side to side for a couple breaths. Yeah, bend and straighten into your legs. And when you're ready, release the hands and let's inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And we'll rise all the way up. Scoop the arms overhead, reach up. And exhale, fold. Come all the way down, bend your knees. Inhale, lift your heart. And exhale, step it back to the top of your push-up. We'll move through a vinyasa, come down to your belly, and then lift your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths in your down dog, and we're going to drop it back down to our tabletop. Awesome. Let's take 1 round of cat-cow. Drop the belly, lift the heart. And exhale to round the spine. Now we'll stay here, keep rounding, push through the palms. And let's curl the toes under and lift the knees a couple inches up off the mat. Very nice. Bear pose. You might even press your heart back towards your knees a little bit. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, drop the knees down. We're going to lift the right leg behind us, come into a supported side plank. So you might swivel the left foot a little bit off the mat. Lift your right arm if you feel stable. And then try to lift your heel so it's in line with your hip point. Very nice. Inhale. Maybe grabbing the teardrop shape behind you on your exhale, taking a little quad stretch. Right hand can grab the foot or the ankle. And when you exhale, we'll come into a low lunge. Take the right foot up to the head of the mat and lift your arms overhead. Now, when you're inhaling, think about pushing the hips forward. And when you're exhaling, thinking about reaching the arms and the heart back towards the back of the room. Very nice. Next exhale, half splits. So bring the fingertips down and try to roll onto the heel of that right foot. Lift the toes. Pull the crown of the head forward. And we'll bend back into that right knee and come into crooked monkey. So swivel the right toes out to the top right corner of the mat. Right hand's going to push that right knee away. Left hand will stay under your shoulder. Maybe trying to look over that right shoulder, twist it up a little bit. And we'll come into a lunge. Start to lift the left knee up off the mat, plant your hands, and we'll come back to a three-legged down dog. We're going to bend our knee and stack our right hip over our left. So almost like you're kicking the left side of the room. On your next exhale, come to your down dog, and we'll go straight into our second side. Drop it down into your tabletop. Kick that left leg out behind you, supported side plank. So start to open up the left hip on top of the right. Lift up that left arm. Maybe lift the heel a little bit higher. And then take that little quad stretch. Reach back, see if you can grab the top of your left foot. And when you exhale, plant that foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. And then reach your arms up. Belly is going to push forward. Reach your heart back. Reach your arms back. Beautiful. One more breath in. As you exhale, half splits. Roll those left toes up to the sky. And so you're pulling your booty, your left hip back to the back wall and the crown of your head forward to the wall in front of you. And we're going to bend into that knee again and find our crooked monkey. So swivel those left toes out to the corner of the mat. Push your left knee away and maybe look over your left shoulder for a twist. Awesome. Let's come back to our lunge. Curl the right toes under. We're coming to a three-legged down dog, left leg high. Bend your knee, stack your hip. Kicking the right side of the room. One more inhale. And we'll exhale into our dog and move through a vinyasa. So come into your plank pose. Come down to the bottom of your push-up. Lift your heart and find your downward facing dog. 2 breaths in your down dog to kind of stabilize. Try to send the tailbone up a little higher towards the sky. And we're going to lift that right leg when you're ready. Exhale the knee towards the chest and inhale to kick it back nice and long. Same thing. Hug the knee in. Let's hold there. Side plank on the left foot. So you're going to spin to the edge of the left foot and then drip those right toes behind you. Wild thing. Pressing the hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, flip it over. And bring that right foot about mid-mat. We're going to go pyramid pose. So about 3 feet of space between the feet. Take the left toes out to the top left corner of the mat. And then pull the right hip towards the back wall. Plant your hands around that right foot if they're not already there. Let's take an inhale to halfway lift the spine. As you exhale, we're going to plant the palms down and come into a standing L, kicking the left leg nice and high into the sky, keeping the heel in line with the hip. Awesome. One more inhale. As you exhale, Skandasana to the back of your mat. So you're going to step back onto the left foot, lean into that left knee, and maybe lift your right toes if you can. Now trying to pull the thumbs towards the heart, lift the heart towards the wall in front of you. Awesome. We're going to swivel to a lunge over the left foot. So come all the way to the back of your mat. And then start to lift your hands. We're going to bring them behind our back, find an interlaced grip, lift your heart up, pull your knuckles down the back leg. Take an inhale. And when you exhale, drop your right knee to the ground. And we're going to slide that fist all the way down the leg. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands around that left foot, straighten through the knee, and then try to pull the toes back as much as you can towards the face. We'll lunge back into that left knee, plant the right hand, lift that left arm up for a twist. And then curl your right toes under, lift the knee. Let's come into Exalted Warrior. Left hand is going to travel to the right hamstring, lift up that right arm. Open your chest towards the sky. And we'll open it up to a Warrior Two at the front of the mat. So bend into that right knee. Beautiful. Reach the arms out nice and long. And we'll reverse our warrior on your next exhale. That right palm is going to high five the back of the room. Take a deep breath in and cartwheel around that front foot. We'll kick it back. Optional vinyasa, or you come straight to your down dog. So once you're in your dog, let's take a couple breaths, pedal out those legs. And then check in with your self-talk. If there's any kind of doubtful feelings about your practice or any poses that you're hitting, try to let that go. On your next inhale, we're going to lift up the left leg. Crunch the knee towards the chest on your exhale, and we'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift it up. Crunch and hold. Side plank on that right foot. So swivel to the edge of the right foot. Coming into Wild Thing, those left toes are going to come behind the right leg. Lift the hips. And then flip it back over, and we'll come into our pyramid. So step about mid-mat. Hop that right foot up a little bit. You're trying to straighten through both of your legs. So a couple of things that will help are maybe walking the right foot in. Maybe lifting onto the right tippy toes, or staying lifted on blocks or your fingertips here. So let's take an inhale. We're going to halfway lift the spine. And as you exhale, plant your palms, kick that right leg into the air, standing L. So still using our fingertips to help our balance here. Lift the leg a little bit higher. And we'll step to our Skandasana at the back of the mat. So bending into the right knee, lifting up those left toes. And trying to lift the heart over the pelvis if you can. Reach the heart towards the wall that's in front of you. And we'll move to a lunge at the back of the mat. So the right knee will be forward. Start to interlace your hands behind your low back. Lift your chest. Take a little back bend. Drag that fist down your back leg. On your next breath out, we're going to drop that left knee down. Keep dragging that fist down. Open your heart. And we'll find half splits on your exhale. Reach the right toes up, crown of the head forward. Let's bend into that right knee, come into a twisted lunge. Reach the right arm up. And we'll exalt our warrior. When you're ready, you're going to reach the right hand to the left leg. Left arm reaches up and back. Inhale. Warrior Two over the left knee. So open it up, come to the head of your mat. Bend over that left knee. Arms are reaching out like wings. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Reverse your warrior on your exhale. Reach that left palm back. And when you're ready to breathe out again, let's cartwheel around that front foot. Take our vinyasa. We're going to meet in a child's pose. So if you want to skip your push-up, just meet us in child's pose. Knees will come either together or nice and wide apart. Big toes touch. Sink the booty down with every exhale, trying to maybe someday sit on those heels. So take a couple deep breaths here. See if you can relax your neck and your jaw. And come back to another encouraging thought for yourself. Let go of any negative self-talk. And be grateful for the movement that's available in your body. We're going to come back to our downward facing dog. Pedal out the legs for a couple beats here. Bend and straighten through one knee at a time. Get a little waggy in your hips. And we're going to walk it all the way up to our forward fold at the head of the mat. So again, small little steps or maybe a big hop. Take your fold. And let's start to heel toe the feet together. Big toes and heels touch. We're going to squeeze our knees and our ankles together. Inhale to rise all the way up to standing. Reach up. Hands come together. Let's take a little back bend. Reach the arms all the way back. Beautiful. Inhale. And exhale to forward fold. We're going to do that one more time. So let's halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale to fold. Rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Take your back bend on your exhale. Press your hips forward. And then we'll lengthen the arms overhead. And we're going to come into a toe stand. So starting to rise the heels up from the mat. Now you can keep your arms lifted or maybe bring the wrists in line with the shoulders, hands in front of you. Start to bend your knees, send your booty back, and maybe lift the heels a little higher as you squat nice and low. Awesome. So goal is to someday sit on those heels. If it takes a while, welcome to the club. Try to ground down through the pinky toe. And we're going to come back up, but stop about halfway. Take a nice deep inhale. On your exhale, kick the left leg back, warrior three. Standing on that right foot, you can drop the right heel now. Really kicking that left foot into an imaginary wall. And we'll open up to half moon, right fingertips down, kind of diagonal from the right toes, lifting the left arm if you feel safe. Big step to the back of the mat, Skandasana over the left knee. So bend into that left knee, lift up those right toes. And just to practice some balance, maybe open up your arms like wings, try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. And let's come into warrior two over the right knee. Beautiful. Open up those arms. And exhale, reverse your warrior. Take that right palm to the back of the room. And reach forward for your side angle, maybe elbow to knee or hand towards the ankle. Take a big breath in. We'll come into a wide leg forward fold on your exhale. You're going to pivot those right toes to face forward and start to walk your hands and your head a little bit lower in between your legs. So if you feel kind of far from the ground, it's okay to widen your legs a little bit here. And if you're someone that can fold pretty deeply, maybe practice on shortening your stance in between your feet. Try to curl the tailbone up. Let's take a nice big inhale. Big exhale out. And let's halfway lift on the next breath in. We're going to the back of the mat into a lunge. So come all the way towards that left knee, drop the right hand, and lift that left arm up nice and high. Beautiful. Twisted lunge or revolved side angle. We're going to come into wild thing. So foundation is the right hand and the right foot. You're going to lift that left leg up and kick it back behind you. Lift up your hips, reach your left arm back. Beautiful. Let's come back, both hands down on the mat, hug the left knee in towards the chest. Fallen star. You're going to kick the left leg out, reach that right arm up. Take a nice big inhale. And we'll leave the right foot where it is. Bring the left knee to the ground. We're going to go gate pose. So use your hands to help you. Reach your arms back open, kind of like we do for warrior two. Right hand will drizzle down the leg, left arm up and over. All right, one more big inhale. As you exhale, hands are coming down in front of you like they would for a tabletop. You're going to swivel the left foot to the back of the mat, curl the toes under, and find a wide leg stance again. So we're back in that fold. Let's take a nice big inhale. Exhale to deepen. And now we're going to inhale, halfway lift, and come to the front of the mat. Lunge over the right knee this time. Start to lift up that right arm. Twisted lunge, left hand down. Big breath in. Exhale, vinyasa. Kick that right foot back. Let's move through our flow and land in our down dog. Couple breaths in your down dog. You can stay in stillness, or maybe you get a little bouncy on the feet again. And let's get ready to go to the top of our mat for our forward fold. Come there any way you'd like, maybe a big hop or a small walk again. Take an inhale to halfway lift and an exhale to fold. Heel toe those feet together. Let's reach up. Inhale, reach back on your exhale for your back bend. All right, inhale, lengthen the arms overhead. We're coming back into our toe stand. So we're either going to bring arms right out in front of the shoulders or up overhead. Let's stop about halfway this time. Try to squeeze the knees, the ankles together. Take a nice big inhale, maybe lift the heels. And exhale, let's kick the right leg behind us, coming back to warrior three. So you can keep the arms floating in front of you, or maybe they reach behind or to the heart. Keep lifting up that heel. And we'll find half moon, left fingertips down. Reach the right hip over the left. Maybe reach your right arm up nice and high. We'll take a big step back, Skandasana to the back of your mat. Right knee is bent, left toes are nice and lifted. Let's open up our arms like wings, practicing that balance. Moving into warrior two, nice and slow. Left knee will bend. Inhale to reach, and exhale, reverse warrior. Reach behind you. Beautiful. Now we'll reach forward and find side angle, maybe elbow to knee or hand towards the ankle. Keep that right arm reaching up. Let's move to wide leg forward fold. Swivel those left toes to point in the same direction as the right, and then walk yourself nice and deeply here. So let's try something different, maybe grabbing the edges of the feet and then trying to bend our elbows, someday creating that chaturanga shelf with the arms, crown of the head, aiming towards the floor. And we'll inhale to halfway lift when you're ready. Walk it over the right knee to the back of the mat. Plant your right hand, lift up the left arm. Nope, plant your left hand, lift up the right arm. Beautiful. Let's stay in our twist. We're going to use that foundation to come into wild thing. So swivel onto the left foot, kick that right leg behind you, reach up. As you exhale, hands are coming down, right knee hugs into the chest. We'll kick it into fallen star. Reach the left arm up. Right leg is kicking the left side of the room. And now from here, it's funky, but we're going to find gate pose. So the right knee is coming down underneath the hip. Reach the arms back open. Left hand drizzles down the leg. Right arm reaches over. Open up that right side body. Coming back into our wide leg forward fold. Hands are going to plant in front of you. Swivel the right toes to the back of the mat. And maybe come back to reaching to the outsides of the feet. All right, let's do one more round of breath here. We'll walk to a lunge at the head of the mat. Plant the right hand, lift that left arm up, twist. And exhale, take your vinyasa. Let's move into our child's pose. See if you can sink your hips back. Reach your arms forward. And make your neck and your jaw nice and loose here. Let's come into our downward facing dog. Final little push for this class. Pedal out your legs for a breath or two. And we'll make our way into that forward fold again. So a hop or a walk, however you want to get there. Let's land with our feet together. Feet nice and snug together. Take an inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll reach up again. You can take a back bend if you want on your exhale. And let's bring the hands to the heart this time when you're ready. Nice mountain pose here. Now we're going to come back into our toe squat. So we're going to lift up our heels, balance on the toes, all of them, even the pinky toe. Start to bend your knees, and we're coming to sit on the heels. Now when we arrive, option to stay here, or squeeze those feet back together. And we're going to see if we can open up the knees, squeezing the heels, squeezing the big toes together. Hands can come to the knees or stay at heart center. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. We'll come back to that kind of half squat. So come into a nice bent knee. And we're going to kick the left leg back behind us. Hands are coming down around that right foot. Coming into a lunge. And we're going to come into our pigeon pose. So start to plant the hands and wiggle that right knee behind the right hand. Start to lift your chest. And then exhale, fold over that right shin. So in your pigeon, you want to think about trying to drive that left hip down towards the mat just as much as the right. Maybe even think about pulling the right hip back and snugging that left hip forward a little bit. Take a couple more deep breaths. See if you can relax your shoulders. We'll start to walk up onto the hands and come back to a 3-legged dog. The right leg is going to kick behind you. And there's a few things you can do. You can flip your dog again if you'd like to from here. Kick the right leg all the way to the left. Or you can take some little knee circles with that right leg. But we'll all meet back in our downward dog and move into our second side. So let's take a nice big inhale, bend your knees, look up, and exhale. Hop or walk to the head of your mat, forward fold, feet together. Inhale to halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Let's rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. And we'll start to find that toe squat, lifting up the heels maybe a little bit higher this time. Bending through the knees, trying to sit back with the booty until you reach the heels. Keep the knees lifted. Start to separate the knees and squeeze the heels together. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. We'll come back to that half squat. So a deep bend in the knees. And we're coming into a lunge over the left knee. So press that right foot to the back of the mat, and we'll find our pigeon. Knee walks behind the left hand, right leg back nice and long. When you have an exhale, go ahead and find that fold over the left shin. Try to push the right hip down. And maybe come back to another kind thought for yourself. Some gratitude for your practice. Something that will serve you. Let's take 2 more deep breaths in our pigeon pose. When you're ready, we'll walk up onto the hands and shoot that left leg back for our 3-legged dog. So again, either knee circles or maybe flipping the dog if you'd like to. If space is tight, you can make it work like bow. Flip it back over, and you can take an optional vinyasa or just hang out with me in down dog right here. Awesome. So once you reach your dog, we're going to step to the middle of our mat into almost a Malasana pose. So instead, we're going to come into garland. So you're going to have the feet back together, much like they were when we were in our toe squat. And we're trying to reach the knees apart and maybe reach the arms forward or wrap them around and try to reach for your heels. Yeah. Leaning forward with the crown of the head, back with the tailbone, and nice rounded spine. Let's take 1 more inhale. And then we're going to sit it down on our booties when you exhale. And so you might want to flip forward to face us, Val. We're going to find a straddle. So let's go 1 leg at a time. You're going to bring your peace fingers around your big toes. And just start with 1 leg, reaching it out nice and long. When you feel stable, start to reach the other leg out. Now kind of pull your chest forward. Let's take a nice big inhale. And on your exhale, we'll release this and roll down onto our spine. So we're going to find a happy baby from here. Hug the knees in towards the chest and then reach for the outer edges of your feet. Elbows are inside the knees. Think about the whole spine curling down onto the mat. The chin towards the chest. Let's take a nice big breath in. Exhale, hug the knees in towards the chest. Bring the forehead up to the knees. And we'll find our Shavasana. Kick the legs and arms out long. And give yourself a little rest here. Thanks for joining us, yogis. Namaste.